Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to TMXing Adventures. My name is Lisa Keegan, and this week we are doing all things black in the Thermomix. So yesterday you'll see I did some beautiful black biscuits with cream cheese icing, and by the way, you'll see the pictures of those. I put them up this afternoon because there were some little changes I had to make because I swapped some ingredients. So go check out that later today. But this afternoon we are doing squid ink pasta. So I'm excited to show you that. And I should have more news for those of you who have inquired about the black. Tonight we've got a meeting, so I'll have news for you then. But I'm excited to give this a go in the Thermomix. I've got my awesome mat here ready to go making pasta, and I am going to show you the process through. So I'm going to make the pasta now. It does need to rest for 15 minutes. It actually says half an hour. I'm going to give it 15. And then I'm going to actually come back and show you how to turn the black pasta into ravioli. And I'm going to put beautiful ricotta that I've actually just made in the Thermomix into the black gnocchi. No, not gnocchi. What did I say? Ravioli. That's the word I'm after. So I'm going to make some black ravioli with ricotta filling today. So let's get started straight away in this pasta. Do say hi if you're watching on today. Have you made pasta? Yes or no? Put it in the chat. And if you know what you're having for dinner, let's inspire each other as well. So let's get straight into start cooking. First things first is we're going to add some plain flour. Now 200 grams of plain flour. If you don't want to make this size batch, you certainly don't have to. So if you wanted to make a half batch, you can use 100 grams of flour and 1 egg. If you wanted to make a triple batch, which is what I made on the weekend when I made just standard pasta to put in a lasagna, I made a triple batch so that I had a little bit left over to actually just have as pasta as well. So you of course put 3 eggs. So it's actually really easy to scale this recipe. So 200 grams of plain flour, and actually I'm using baker's flour, all right, because that's what I've got. I don't bother buying plain anymore. I just use baker's. Most of the time we actually use gluten-free. You can't use gluten-free in this recipe, okay? If you're wondering that, it doesn't work. It needs the gluten. Good afternoon, Denise. Good afternoon, Kalinda. Lovely to have you on today. Next up, we have eggs. And for every 100 grams of eggs, every 100 grams of flour, it gets an egg. So here is 2 eggs cracked and ready to go in. Oh, I made a big splashy flouring mess. And then we've got not too much more. We've got some squid ink. Now I did have to order that online. You might be able to get it at your Coles or Woolworths, or even if you've got like an Asian grocer near your house. I had to get mine online. It comes in little sachets. I reckon it's going to stain if I make a mess with it. And it's 4 grams in each. So as I said, it's, you don't have to do black. I'm just excited to give it a go. Something new and different to Cookidoo. So, but you certainly don't have to. If you don't have this, just make pasta. How cool is that? But of course you can make pasta with spinach and make it green if you want. You can make red spinach with different things, purple cabbage to make it purple. Like there's so many ways you can actually change your food. By the way, this is just a little pouchy thing that squeezes out, and it's got this ink in it. So in that goes. I've got to say I've never made it before, never cooked with squid ink before. I've played with squid ink before, but I've never actually used it in cooking before. Has anyone watching along used it before? Say hi if you have and let us know. So you can see there, it's just this, literally looks like ink. So out that goes into the Thermomix. I wonder if that means it's going to stain my hands. Watch this space, I'll let you know. So squid ink done. Next, okay, some oil. 1 tablespoon of oil. So we just guesstimate. Now the thing with pasta in your Thermomix is sometimes it doesn't look right. And you're going to go, oh Lisa, it's really crumbly. Now, never fear, it's actually correct. All right, so let's put the lid on and let's knead it for 3 minutes and let me show you what this looks like. Because a lot of people think they've made a mistake at this point when this is done. So while your pasta is kneading, you do want to get something to do it on, and you're going to need a spatula to get it out with as well. Now this doesn't have to be made into ravioli. I just want to. I thought that would look really nice, the black on white. And actually I've got a tomato sauce recipe of Cookidoo cooking over in the other Thermomix as we speak. So I want to fry some off in some garlic butter for hubby and I, but the kids will have the typical tomato, cheese topping. Like that's just what they'll do. So, but yeah, what was I going to say? That's what you need on hand in a second. it is going to need a rest time. So anything with gluten requires a rest. It allows the gluten fibers to actually de-stress, because when you're working them in a Thermomix and it's kneading it around, it's actually causing them stress. And if you try and roll that out, it won't work. Now the other thing you need is either a rolling pin and a bit of muscle, or you need a pasta maker. Now there is a pasta maker in the mix shop. However, I think I bought mine at Robin's Kitchen 10 years ago. Sat in the cupboard for a very long time before I got a Thermomix and didn't do much, and it does the job. So it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It does make the job easier, okay, because otherwise you're rolling it out with a rolling pin trying to get it quite fine. So I would highly suggest check out your Robin's Kitchens, even sometimes the cheap shops, and get yourself one, or get yourself a mix shop one, okay. They all work similarly, they're kind of the same. Now I made this today using 1 litre of milk and some vinegar. I do have left over the whey, so little note on the whey and ricotta. Now if you're not sure how to do ricotta, go check out my cheese course, okay? So go to tmxingadventures.com.au, click on the cheese, and you'll see, click on the course, click on the courses button, not the cheese button, the courses button, and that'll take you through. Now ricotta is free. You can see how that works. You can then see how to turn this into beautiful baked cheese ricotta, which is absolutely amazing and so versatile. So check that out. It also, though, for those of you with the TM6, there's a different version again on your Thermomix. And those of you with TM5 and 31 as well, you'll find it on the Cooking for You and Me, I think, from memory, is where you'll find the recipe for ricotta. It's really easy, it's really quite cost effective, and you get 2 for 1, because you're actually getting a liquid that you can then use in cakes and biscuits and things like that, and you're getting a solid that you can then use for things like tonight. So we often make our own. I don't think we've bought it ever since we've had a Thermomix. All right, 14 seconds to go. Now you're going to see this is going to come out. It's going to look crumbly. It's going to look wrong from being so crumbly. So expect it to be crumbly. I'm about to find out if I'm leading you astray, but mine, like even when I made the one on the weekend, it came out little tiny crumbles. It looked like biscuit crumbs. And yep, it has. That's exactly what it is. Let me just actually wiggle this camera around now. It's a little bit front heavy, the camera today. There you go. Let me just show you what this looks like. I love the color though. It's amazing color. Just get that out of the way. So next up, let's pull this out onto the thing. Can you see how it's all crumbs? Like it looks like little pebbles. So it really does look wrong. Like it doesn't look right. It doesn't look exactly what you'd expect a dough to look like. It's not like your bread dough that comes out nicely. Totally normal, okay? Don't go, oh my goodness, add more water. Adding more water will make a sticky mess. So don't go doing that. And just trying not to get too much of the stuff that's stuck to the edge without the squid inking, because I want the darkness of it. It looks amazing. So if you are an entertainer or you like trying something a little different, get some squid ink and give this a go, because I tell you, I'm excited. I love it when you find something new. And gosh, there is no way I would make pasta without a Thermomix. So then when I can go, oh, I can make black pasta, you just wouldn't without a Thermomix, would you? That's what I love about owning a Thermomix. All right, so you can see here, it looks like a crumbly mess. But when I push it together, either with my hands or the mat, I'm going to try and push it together with the mat because I don't love playing with my food. But just as you push it, oh, I nearly lost you guys on the floor. All right, let's try again. All right, yeah, there you go. All right, so as I push it together, it doesn't want to stay out. My goodness. All right, maybe I can't push it together. The camera wants to fall over. All right, stay up, camera. But as I push it together, it's actually coming together, a bit like Play-Doh. If I can suggest what the texture's like, because obviously you can't feel it through the TV, it looks like and it feels like Play-Doh, okay? But it is too tough at this point in time to work with and roll it. Now, Sally, fantastic question. Where did I get it from? I'll put the link in the comments. It was online. I ordered it on Thursday and it arrived yesterday. So fantastic service. I feel like they were called Essential something, but I will put the comments in and let you know. But there you go. That is what black pasta looks like. How cool is that? So I'm going to come back in half an hour. It says it needs to rest for half an hour. That allows that gluten to relax. I'm going to set up my pasta roller. I'm going to show you how to make the pasta sheets, and then I'm going to show you how to turn it into ravioli to put the beautiful ricotta in shortly. So come back in half an hour, guys, and see how to finish that. I will put in the chat box where to get the squid ink from. But otherwise, see you soon, guys. Take care till then, and let me know if I can help you with anything with your Thermomix. See you soon. Okay, guys, we are back for part 2 of the squid ink pasta, but I'm turning it into ravioli. So it's been sitting there. It's probably not been half an hour. My patience doesn't go that slow. So what I've got here is it's wrapped in my Thermomat. I've also got my pasta machine here, and I'll just have a look at this texture. It looks amazing. Oh my goodness. Yeah. All right. So what we're going to do is I've got I think it's actually an icing kind of blade that's designed to ice cakes, but I like it because it's not sharp. So I'm not going to cut through my mat. I'm going to cut this up into thirds because that I think might be easiest to work with. Maybe I should do halves. No, let's do thirds. Probably should have done quarters. Too late. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this other bit away. You don't want to make it dry. You don't want to let it dry out. So we'll just put that aside for the moment and come back to that in a moment. So I've got over here, you probably can't quite see, but the Thermomix is actually on kettle mode. It's got 1.5 litres of water in there, and it's actually going to boil because as I make this, fingers crossed, I'm going to put it straight in and show you, as long as it doesn't take too long. So the first thing we're going to do with this is we're actually going to press it out. By the way, I've got an oven mat down. I couldn't find my other Thermomats. I think they're in the fridge being used. And we need to make it small enough to fit through the pasta roller. Now you actually start your pasta roller on the largest setting. So the very largest setting it will go, and we're going to roll it through. And then we're going to do something called, I think it's called laminating, unless I've made that up somewhere along the line over the years. I'm going to call it laminating. And we're just rolling it through, although I'm already having trouble with it. It's actually getting caught. That's because I'm not in the largest setting. Let's try the largest setting there. Okay, I'll go from the other end. Let's push it down. If it does get caught and it starts rolling around your rollers, you'll just need to flour it. I'm actually avoiding flouring it because, where is the bottom? Because it's going around again. Because if I flour it, it's going to lose its glossiness. And I'm trying really hard to make it pretty and black. So let's just flatten this out. See if we can make it happen. Now the laminating I was about to talk about is where you actually fold it. And you do it 3 times. You put it through the pasta maker 3 times. Let's see if this works. Here we go. So you don't make it any smaller. So you actually go through. It's jammed again. No, it's not. It's just the thing fell out. The handle fell out. So just take that through. And then we're going to fold it in half. So we're going to now fold it over itself. So here's my pasta. And what this does is it creates a really nice texture. And you'll feel the texture will go from like a dough texture to a really silky texture. So something just happened there, it flicked. Hang on a second. Back into my largest setting. Here I was saying my trusty old pasta maker, just anything does the job, and it's playing up on me. All right, let's go in again. As I said, I'm avoiding flouring it. If this was just normal pasta, I would actually probably flour it so that it doesn't stick on the rollers. But if I flour this, it's going to go grey, and I'd really like it to try and stay black, if possible. So there we go, one more go at that. So through the center, give it a push down, and we're not going to start shrinking it yet until this roll's done. So this is our 3rd roll through. There we go. So 3rd roll through, and the texture's changed. It's actually got a really quite silky smooth texture to it. It's not grainy feeling. We know we're ready to shrink it down a little bit. So we just change it down 1 little cog at a time. So what the cogs are doing, if you've never used a pasta maker, is it's moving them together little by little. I wonder if I can get you a bit closer. I might try and just put you a bit higher. Excuse me while I play with the camera and see if I can get you to see the top of this roller maker. All right, look at that. That's what we want. Okay, so I've taken it one little one smaller. There's a little gauge on the thing there that tells me, and I can see that it's gotten together further, and I'll just drop it in and through it goes. And so each time just taking it a wee bit smaller. So one more cog, in we go. Might go the same way I've gone the other times, and in that goes. So, I think I've gone round the cog, have I? And this is where, if you find yours going round and round and round, stop it before it gets to that point and flour it. Unless you got black, and then you just got to keep playing with it like I am to make it work. There will come a point when you will decide it's rolled out enough. So I can't run that through at the moment without flouring it more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the other way of doing this. Excuse me while I grab a roller. So the other way you can do pasta is with a roller. So, you know, if you don't have a pasta maker, as much as I think they're fantastic, you can just roll it out. Like really, that's all it is push it out to the shape. And because it's had that rest, it's not contracting back. If it's actually had its if you haven't rested it, you'll see it's shrinking back. A bit like trying to work a pizza dough that's just come out of the machine. It just keeps going back. So with this one, I can just push it out with the rolling pin, and it's just getting thinner and thinner. Look how lovely that is though. The dough just comes off the bench. I do want it a little bit thinner, so I'll just roll it over, swap ends, push out the ends. You're actually pushing out the ends. I don't know if you guys can see that. And there we go. That's feeling more like the right texture and the thickness for ravioli, or even lasagna sheets. That could be a lasagna sheet. So there's one strip done, and I'll just grab a second strip, because what I want to do is I want to show you how we now put the ricotta into it and make it into beautiful ravioli. So let me just grab another chunk, and I'll show you how to do this. Back here I've also got the tomato sauce ready to go. So that's done. Just using my roller to get this a bit thinner to start off through the machine. Actually wouldn't normally bother, but since it's in my hands, started at its widest position again. Okay, and as I said, flour it up if you're not making black. I want to make it black. I haven't got this far and bought squid ink not to make it black. So in it goes, and out it comes. Okay, one done. Fold it in half, got to go 3 times through. You can see that that was a little bit, those speckles are from the side of the bowl, so we're not shrinking it yet, we're not changing the thickness till we've done at least 3 rolls. 2. You'll also see it gives you a good chance to get it into a decent kind of shape as well. And 3. I don't know if you guys can hear from there, you possibly can't, but the water's boiling over there too. So now I just shrink it down. No folding it in half anymore. No need to fold it in half. We only do that at the beginning to get that beautiful texture to it. And we're gonna, through we go. Now I did put in the first video, oh, what's going on here? I did put a link to where I got the ingredient from, the squid ink from. So do check that out on the first video. Where did that disappear to? Kind of went inside and never came back out. Let's try again. Are we coming out the bottom? Yes, we are. Excellent. Once it comes out the bottom, if you can pull it as it comes, you'll find that it'll come out a lot easier. I tend to have the kids with me, to do this as often as possible because, where are you? I've lost it inside somewhere. Because with the kids here, they can pull it out of the bottom and it stops it getting jammed like I'm having trouble with now. Told you I was going to show you how easy it is. I'm not making it look very easy, am I, guys? It's all right, I found it. There we go. So, I'm going to just take to it with the rolling pin. But honestly, these things are amazing. So, as much as I said, and I'm making it look tricky, it actually works beautifully. So if you've got one, get it out and use it and make it. All right, so let's just get it nice and thin, and then I'm going to show you how to make ravioli with it. Has anyone made ravioli? Do say hi in the chat if you have. Love to know. It's kind of one of those things you go, oh my goodness, I made ravioli. So it's kind of cool. I don't think I can see the chat. 2 seconds, guys. Let me just come over and see who's in the chat. All right, there we go. All right, so to make ravioli. Last time I made this and I showed you guys, it was like ages ago, 6 months ago or so. It was standard. It was like good old white pasta, nothing special. Last time I showed you this, I did it over an ice cube tray and I then did it over a little silicone mold. Today I'm going to show you how to do it without any of them. I'm going to go no frills today and show you how easy it is. So I've got my ricotta from earlier. Got my camera. Let's come over here. I'm going to put, I'm just going to actually put little dobs of this onto the black. Now, it doesn't particularly matter where I put it necessarily. I mean, if it was nice and neat and I was on a tray or something like that, sure. But in this case, I just need to keep them apart so that in a moment when I put the second layer on, I can press my fingers between and make nice little shapes. So I'll try and leave them in little bunches. Now it is just, what have I got in this white mix? This here is ricotta that I made. It's then got some lemon, a squeeze of lemon juice. It's got some Parmesan cheese. It's got some salt and some pepper. That's it. That's all that's in the little homemade ricotta. And put that over the top. Nearly done. I'm excited to see what this cooks up like. So the water's boiling over there. So actually in a minute I'll be able to, with any luck, actually put it straight in and show you guys. It only takes 3 minutes. Fresh pasta takes 3 minutes to actually cook, which is pretty cool. All right, so just clean up the little bits between. I am being a little creative here. It's not neat. Sorry if you're a little OCD. And now I do need to make this one a wee bit longer because I can see already that he's a bit short. Let me just grab a cloth for my fingers. Trying to keep things all the right color. And just move that out the way. Stay there. So let's just give this one a little bit of a roll out. Just want to make it a little longer. I just need to make sure it covers the other one. Now the thing we're going to do to join them is you can actually do an egg wash to join them. Or in this case, I've got the whey from earlier making that ricotta. So I'm actually going to dip my finger in the whey and I'm just going to go around the outside, actually better still. I'm going to use my paintbrush thing. But if you don't have one, just use your finger and you're going to go around the outside. It's a good chance to push the food back into the center because this is going to be your glue that joins the 2 layers together. All right, now if you do have a ice cube tray or a silicone tray, you can actually use that instead, which gives you something to go down into and a bit of a, I guess, a bit more what's the word I'm after? Unifiedness to it. But you know, if you don't, I'm showing you today how you can do it even if you don't have anything fancy. So, okay. Now, you'll need to be able to press down on these in a second. So, say hi if you're watching on below as well this afternoon and let me know, have you tried ravioli in your Thermomix? Let me know. All right, time to put the top on. So I'm going to try and match them up so that it covers each bit. Some of it looks like it needs rolling out a bit more. Let's stretch it. Very pro I am. I'm just going to stretch it. Reminds me of black leather gloves. Leather gloves. That's what it reminds me of. All right, let's give it a stretch. Let's make sure it covers the other one. Just try not to get any holes in it. We want to make it so that it's, you know, approximately the same size. So, beautiful. Now what we're doing is we're going around and we're pressing down. So make sure you get all the way out. Doesn't matter if you give it a press, but also compress it around your little, where are we? Around the little dobs around here as well. So you want to give it a good press down because you want to be able to join it. And then we're simply going to chop around it. So give it that really good press though. Make sure you've got your little mound of ricotta in there. If anything, I'm looking at these thinking maybe I've gone a little bit too much with them, maybe not. So press it down, get rid of the air out of it as well as you press it. You don't want, that'll explode in your boiling water, so you don't want air in there. Press it down and then we're going to cut it out. Now the cutting out is going to give you a chance as well, if anything is not sticking down, it's actually going to give you a chance to stick it down. Okay, so here we go. All we do, now you could make them uniform, you could use a cup to cut them out, you could do squares. Considering I'm already going pretty freestyle, I will just continue my freestyling and just do circles. All right, now this is not a knife, so you can see I'm struggling to get through the pasta now. Let's get that around there, and there we go. First one's just about to be lifted out. So now if you want to also make them a little fancier, make sure your joins are super sealed. The other thing you can do, I need to grab a knife, guys, just hang on 2 shakes. Thought I was all organized with my things, but it's sticking. So the other thing you can do is press it with a fork. So to press it with a fork is really simple. Let's lift it out. All right, there's our first little ravioli. It looks like a little spaceship. Look at that, so cool. But what you can do is with your fork, if you want to make it a little fancy, you can get a fork and just press it around the sides. That'll also make sure you've got a really good seal. So it's worth doing, in my opinion. Otherwise you might lose your ricotta out into the water as it boils. So there we go, look at that, one little ravioli. How cool is that? So lift him up. Now obviously if you're not doing black, you'd have a whole lot of flour helping you in these processes, but I'm doing the dark stuff and I don't really want to muck it up. So there's one, I'm going to show you just another one, and then I will probably leave you guys, and actually let me just talk to you about the Thermomix and what to do over here. So with the Thermomix, I have put 1.5 litres of water in there. I've used the kettle mode. So if you've got a TM5 or a TM31, just bring it up to Varoma and put it on for about 10 minutes. It should come up to Varoma temp, maybe a little bit longer, see how you go. And then once it's up to temp, all you're going to do is you're actually going to put your ravioli in the boiling water. Now it's got to be boiling. If it's not boiling, your pasta goes to mush, and it just needs to cook 3 minutes. That's it. Fresh pasta takes 3 minutes. Scoop it out or pour it out into your simmering basket. Be careful, the water's hot. I scoop it out if I've got more to cook because I want to keep the water boiling. I'll re-bring it up to the boil and I'll put more in. But if you're done, pour it out into your Varoma or your simmering basket to drain and then enjoy. So I'm going to fry off some in some garlic and butter for hubby and I. The kids are going to have the beautiful, this is just the tomato pasta sauce off Cookidoo. And that's how we're going to use our black squid ink pasta. So I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you realize as well today that you don't need something fancy to do this. Yes, you can, but you can also see the challenges in doing it fancy with a pasta maker. And you know, you can do it without. You don't need the pasta maker. You can roll it out with a rolling pin. You can do it freestyle. It doesn't have to be, you know, what are they called? Ravioli presses and things like that. You can just do it with what you've got in your home. Now, as you give this recipe a go, I would love to see it. Now, if you don't want to do it with the black squid ink, that's okay. Do it with standard pasta. Blow yourself away with how amazing it is to make it yourself in your Thermomix. And then when you do, send me a photo and go, Lisa, I did it. Because it's such an accomplishment when when you do these things. Because who would have thought you'd ever make ravioli, right? In your own kitchen from scratch. So guys, have a fantastic afternoon. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow afternoon for some more cooking with black things in our Thermomix, because the black TM6 is on its way. I will have news by tomorrow afternoon on that. We're learning tonight at our statewide meeting. So keep an eye out. If you are curious about the black Thermomix and you want to be first to know, I will be sending text messages out tonight to those of you who have said, yep, keep me up to date. So do hit me up with a DM, PM, text message, however you can communicate with me, and let me know, and I will let you know when I know tonight the info on that as well. So I look forward to seeing you guys for tomorrow for some more Thermomixing. I hope you're feeling inspired, confident, and I hope you'll give this a go in your own home. And if you get stuck along the way, you know I'm not far away, so please don't hesitate to reach out. But take care, and I will see you tomorrow. Guys, see you then.